Does the Antichrist make a big mistake? Hi, my name is Alex, and I fully believe that I'm going to be that person in the future, based on what was told for me. Now, it may not seem obvious today, but I fully believe it. So the Antichrist has a big rise to power. And how does that happen? One of the references I came across from reading some Christian material is that he's going to rise by making cheap goods. Now, I don't think those are going to be like what we think of as today, but maybe in the future the economy is different, things are different, but maybe you'll have something that's very valuable that can't be reproduced, but he can able to manufacture it cheaply, and which could be significant to get him to rise to power. So eventually, he rises to power, probably in Europe, somewhere in some nations there, and he's going to become a ruler over all those nations. And that's going to be a big achievement for him. He has an army. He'll get an army, and he'll win great wars. The Bible writes about him that people during his time will say, "Who can make war with him? Who can make war with him?" He'll be just like an overwhelming force, superior. Nothing like ever been seen probably on this world before. And so he's doing very good. Does he make any mistakes? And one of the material I came across was from Dolores Cannon, which she passed away, but she what did she do? She would hypnotize people and get information from them that way, talk to them and get past life reviews and things like that. But one time she asked a question, when she was the topic of the Antichrist, is what would be his decline? And the person under hypnosis, or somebody who was coming through him under hypnosis, gave this sort of story. Imagine sometime in the future, the Antichrist is, he has the mark of the beast, he has control of the financial system, so he knows all the records, he can go through all the records financially. And he comes across this one record that concerns him. And it's about this group of people. He doesn't know who they are, but he thinks it's very, very significant, and he has the power to, and he basically just wipes them out. But it turns out this group of people, they were financing his wars. He's got all kinds of wars going on. He's got tons of money coming in to enable him to do that. And this group of people were financing most of his, or at least a lot of his wars. But he didn't know that when he made the decision. So they go away. His military powers decreases significantly, and the question becomes was this a mistake? And there's not much analysis on this, but as I think about this, and I think about it, if he did not make the decision, if he thought that something was a threat and you let it to continue, he basically would run into a conflict of interest if he knew who they were. He'd be having a serious conflict of interest. And I think it's best the way that it turned out. He removes the threat, and he doesn't eventually figures it out, but he avoids the serious conflict of interest. And the Bible toward the end says, and I misunderstood this, that toward the end he will have no helpers. And I thought about it, and I think the helpers it means probably is financial people, financial backing, or people who help financially. Maybe that means that for one reason or another, he runs out of financial backing or helpers, and he has to go on his own basically toward that point. But it would be toward the very end. So I don't think it's a big mistake he makes. I think it's probably worth it. But the jury, I think, is still out on that. Alright, thank you for watching this video.